So good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jacques, and good morning, Matthias.
Good morning, Morten and Jacques.
So welcome to this third and last day of our Learn With Us selling print online. And Matthias, I wouldn't say that you're new in presentation because that would be a lie. But it's the first time that you're here on INKISH, and I have, as I just said to Jacques, and you know, of course, that we have been closer and working. So that's a little disclaimer that I know Matthias pretty well, and I also know his business very well. Out of Sweden, Matthias, one thing is creating fantastic software. Another thing I am a little bit curious about: how is this step to become an international company?
It's challenging, of course, but I think that the possibilities and obstacles we see for Swedish companies are the same in all over the world. So I think we are in the same boat, all the printing industry, and we're trying to solve problems on international level, not only on local level. So.
But when you talk about the problems, is that like, I mean, because I think that when I look at it as an editor from INKISH perspective, I think I can tell you what I think is the biggest obstacle for the industry is not the technology, it's not the printing, which for some seem to be declining and other segments are increasing. It's the lack of focus on customer needs and sales. That is where I see the biggest obstacles. So is that something that a software solution can help enabling?
Definitely. I also agree with you that I think the understanding the customer problems and understanding the customer persona and needs is very important to be able to supply the products and services that the customer needs. And I think software is only a tool to make that happen. And but it's all in the mindset of the companies, I would say.
What do you think, Jacques?
Yeah, communication, and then put that back in workflows, and combined with web to print, of course, that will be the Achilles heel, I think, for a lot of companies. So I think you got a good future ahead of you if you can persist to the markets that you want to attain, of course.
Jacques, what you're referring to is if Matthias is able to convince you and me that he has a good solution, right?
Absolutely. So that's what we're here for now, together with all the audience. Yeah. So looking forward.
Yeah. So Matthias, one thing is that you identify that the problems are universal, and also that I seem to agree also that sales and I think it's I made a little film with Warren Workbit from Canada, who is all over the place in a positive way, and he said, "All your angry old men get out of here," right? And there is maybe a tendency that if people think that print is dying or dead, that will be something that keep pushing that. Okay, it is a dying industry, which I disagree 100% with, and I'm just thinking that the solutions to the market is something that if let's say that you convince me and Jacques about that Omikai is the platform for thing. You're convinced two people. There's still 7.8 billion people out there. So I'm just wondering, do you get my point?
Yeah, do it, because you said that sales is getting more and more important, and what you have to realize is that 100% of your turnover is coming from sales. So if you don't have sales, you don't have any turnover. So of course, sales is a vital part, and I think also that it's not dying, the industry, it's only in change. And you have to understand the change, you have to understand the market change, and you have to adapt your sales.
Matthias, so I think that's a good point that you make there. You have got the technical side from one perspective, and then of course a lot of people are talking about it, that you have, and you mentioned it earlier before when we were talking, that you have to have a multi-platform to make yourselves known, and I guess that's why one of the reasons why you're on the show. So yeah, we absolutely agree with you, and I wouldn't say I totally disagree as well that the graphical industry is dying. So it might be in decline for some of them, but we've spoken a lot this week with a lot of them, and they're growing like hell. So I think it's like with solutions that we see that you have, that we have to choose the right ones to hop on the right train, so to speak.
But it's funny you mentioned that, Jacques, because I can't help think about. Sorry, I'm back again.
Yeah, no problem. I didn't notice.
No, okay. It was basically. I was once at the Sign, Print and Pack fair in Denmark. You know that, Matthias, and I was asked to give a presentation about my experiences from traveling the world about the state of the printing industry. And I said to the organizer, but I'm not capable of doing that, because as a media, I'm only seeing the good ones, right? You're invited to see the success stories from vendors, and we did two really good films in Sweden. One with one of you, Costa Tello, and I mean they are not a big company, but just the fact that they have invested in a software platform, but like yours, seems that it moves them ahead, right? So it's a combination of saying that, okay, if you don't do anything, you will not have a chance to move ahead, and that is maybe the most important takeaway from the changes that we see in the industry, I think.
Yeah, I also think that you have a lot of forums and a lot of home and adapt it in the culture and the business model and do the change in practice also.
I think you chose the right word. I think you had a good choice of words. And what we're seeing here as well is that we will have a choice, and that's what you say. And that's why your solution will probably will be different than others. We're in the web to print, selling print online. So I'm surely happy to see what you will have to offer to all of us, and we can compare. That's the main thing today.
Jacques, I can't help thinking about it, because you work as a consultant, and if I should be a little tease you a little bit, maybe. Consultants are often in a role where they give advices to people, but it's still like the company you advise that have to do things, because Matthias is referring to the people that talk and to the people that do things. How is I'm writing some articles right now about conversions, but I've never thought about it from a consultant perspective. How is conversions from saying something to your customers and advising them, and of course they have to judge for themselves whether they think it's right, but what is the conversion rate from a consultant perspective of doing this?
Well, that's a fair question, and it's a good one, but it's difficult because you can't just come forward with one solution. So first of all, like in these events, you have to look what's on the market and make up your mind and dig in a little bit into a bit deeper, I would say, than just the surface. And then you have to have a good knowledge of the insights of the company that you're consulting for, so that it doesn't go from today you step in and tomorrow you can propose like a solution. You have to dig in a little bit, learn about the company you're consulting for, and then try in the strategic exercise that you do together, see what's the budget, and what are the solutions, and in what markets are they, which ones do they want to go into, and then try to figure out which solution might be the most helpful.
And if I can continue to that also, my take on that is that consulting is very important too, in combination with software and hardware, because us as a software company cannot change the company's way of working, and the consultants cannot do that because they need tools to make it happen. And the hardware can produce things, but they have to be integrated with software to make the automation possible. So I think it's to really make a change and do this in practice in a printer. You have to have a combination of good software tools. You have to have good machinery integrated with software, and you also have to have the mindset so you can do the organizational change and change management, finding new business models and things. All this together. Yeah. So I think that cooperation is the key factor, I would say.
Absolutely, and the skills have to be there as well to be able to take it to a success story as well. So absolutely, it's a combination of all of them, and a lot of times we help out putting the pieces together in the puzzle. Yeah.
Well, we will have time to talk more after the demo. So, Matthias, are Are you okay? Are you ready to dig into your demo and show us what you are capable of doing and why Omikai is, well, you are.
Yeah.
Shaq and I, we will disappear, but we will be listening and watching, and then we return to a Q&A session afterwards. So again, a very warm welcome, and thank you, and take it away.
Thank you too, and hello everybody. I'm going to take you through who Omikai is, what we do, and how we see the change in the market and in the print industry. We are a company from Sweden, founded in 2013, so we are up until the 8th year right now. We are see ourselves, and the market see ourselves as a driving force for the digital transformation for the print industry, because as we talked about here in the beginning, I think the market is changing, and I think it's very important to be aware of that and to form your business models and the way you work to be adapting to that change. And Omikai is a cloud platform handling all the print administration for a printer. We are having 3 parts. The first part is the storefront, the web to print part, handling online sales. And then you have the ERP handling the entire production part, but also the manual proactive sales, all coming to the same workflow through the production, and then handling all the logistics and all the stock management and all the invoicing, all the administration. And then the end, we also have the business intelligence, because it's very important when you're doing this kind of change that you all the time keep track of what's most profitable, what's more efficient, both in your sales, but also in production and transporting and everything. So, and to do that continuously, then the BI is very, very important to do that, to collect intelligence, so you could use that to make your decision making more efficient. And what we're going to do is we are going to take you through our solutions. So we're going to start with the storefront, and here we have an example store. It could be customized with different layouts, colors, logos, products, and categorization of products like this. So this is an example of how it could look like. We have a print shop where you have a list of products that a customer could purchase. The print shop can also be both public and private. Public means that I can go to the store as a guest. I don't have to log in first, and I can look at the collection of products to buy. Or it could be a private store where I am a returning customer coming back to the company and buying the products that I can buy for the pricing that I have. So the pricing and the set of products to purchase could be different depending on who you are visiting the store. And we're going to go through an example of a menu, a restaurant menu. So here it is. And when you're purchasing this product, first of all, you need to describe how you want the product to be specified. And that you can do with parameters. So for example, if I set a quantity and a format, then I will see a price. It's going to cost 361 Swedish crowns. We work with all the currencies here, so you can have euro or dollar or whatever, but now we have Swedish crowns. And we just have 2 example parameters. There could be more. It could be material, could be finishing, could be mounting, it could be a lot, but I'm taking a very simple example now. And you also see that if I change to another format and another quantity, I get another price, of course. So the price is different depending on what you're purchasing. And the price, as I said before, could also be different depending on who you are. So you can have one price list for one group of customers and another price list for another group of customers. So this you do to specify the product and see the real-time pricing on it. So you can decide if you want to purchase it or not. The next thing you have to do is to create your design, because you want to have something to print. And you can do that either by uploading, if you already have an original, or you can create a design in the integrated online designer in the platform. So we're going to use that. We're going to open that. And here we have a lot of options to personalize the restaurant menu. So first of all, it's a template that you can build for. You can have multiple templates for each product, but here's one template. You have a front side and you have a back side here. So we're going to customize it a little bit. First of all, we're going to add our restaurant name. And we can change a lot of things here. We can change fonts depending on what kind of fonts you want to supply to your customer. We can work with different resizes, and you can rotate this and put it like you want to have it. And we can add more background images and front images. So you can have a predefined collection of some sample images, or you can upload your own images to a media archive, or you can choose from that. You can see here that we can upload more images, but we take just a sample image, fish plate here or something, and we can add some texts also. To have a text down here, we can say opening hours. Like that, and we want to make it a little bit smaller, and we want to make it another font, and should make it another color. And we can work with different palettes. So we choose a palette and we select, we're only going to take white or something. But you see here, it's easy to customize this as what you see is what you get designer. We can alter the backside also to put some beverages. We can have white wine maybe as a beverage, or we can have some dessert, ice cream. Not much of an ice cream weather today, but anyway. And you do like this to alter this. And what we also can do, we're not going to be able to go in deep of this designer, but you have possibilities to work with variable data. If we want to produce multiple copies of this with different content for each menu, or for each business card, for each roll-up or whatever. And you can also work with also different types of products. If you have a multiple page product, you can add and remove pages, you can change formats and many other things. So you have a very wide variety of options to personalize these products. So we get a preview, and then we're going to continue and purchase this. So we're going to add it to our cart, and we can continue shopping and adding more things to the cart, or we can go to the checkout to finalize the purchase. And because I'm a returning customer now, my information is already here. So we have an option to choose invoicing method. We can purchase this and to get an e-invoice or a PDF invoice, purchase this with a debit card and pay it right away, many different things. Could be customized, but we choose e-invoice and we choose addresses, and we can request some delivery date, and we can write some delivery notes that we're going to pass to the company producing this. Deliver it. something. And these fields can also be customized, what you want to be letting the purchaser enter, what kind of information they need to enter. So we're going to finish the purchase now. And when we do that, a lot of things can happen, because now we're really going to see the benefit of having not only a web-to-print storefront solution, but to have a complete platform with everything in one seamlessly integrated platform. So when we finish the purchase, the order is going to come to the same order workflow as the manual handled orders. We're going to make the print-ready file. There can be a print-ready file with the crop marks and everything totally ready for print, be pushed to a printer, or we can push it to a workflow of your choice. So you can push to any automated Prepress workflow handling this. So when we do this, you don't have to have any more manual control over this. It will be pushed to the production, and in the order workflow, it will be automated with a planning and ready for printing. So we do that. Yes, I'm sure. And we go to the orders a little bit quick to see here. So first of all, we see the top row here. Now we are in the ERP part. You see the top row, it's a new order coming in. You have the status new because it's new. And it have information from what store it came. And we can have multiple stores. So all the stores are driving the orders to the same order workflow. And we reload it once more. And we can see while we waited, it has been planned. So now it's planned. And we can open it, and we can see that the system has generated planning cards. So we have planning cards for the different operations that you need to do, the print and the folding and the so on. And we can look at that a little bit better if you go to the ERP's planning and scheduling. So if you look here, you see that all the operations are in the scheduler. We have divided the print production into the pre-press and printing and cutting and folding and whatever operations you have on this product. And it's been automated, planned, and taking the current production in consideration. So it's ready for print, and it's ready for time reporting, because here's where the operator can report back after they have been handling the production, reporting back how much material they used, if they ran it on another printer, and so on. So any deviations for that. And that deviations we need from the operators just to be able to make post calculations and analyses to see how the real profit was, be based on the real material consumption and so on. And if you go back to the order, you also see that all the files are attached here. So attached to this, we have the file for print. Our beautiful little red restaurant is here. And we also have different XML files, and they can be produced different ways. But the meaning with the XML file is to specify the specification of the product, so the automated workflow can continue to process this order in the right way. Yes, and that's that. We can go much deeper, but you can do that in the individual demo with anybody interested to go more in depth what's going to happen in the ERP, because a lot of interesting functionalities, a lot of more customization in the web-to-print designer and so on. But if we stay here and now and look at the product here, we can do a little bit of customization on this product just to show you how easy it is to set up a product and to alter a product. So here you see that we have only 3 parameters. But if we go to the configuration of the storefront, and we have the different stores here, and we have multiple stores. We open one store, the demo store that we used. We open one of the products that we have on the on the store, and we can add one more store term. If we add a grammage, for example, and we can make that populate based on the price list, because in the price list we have different price for different variants of the product. So depending on the quantity, the grammage, the format, everything, there are different prices. But if we add this parameter also to the product and go back to the store once more and open this, you see that we have a grammage also. So it's just very easy to just add a new parameter. So if we now add, we're going to have 100 in 200 grams of material. We have one price. And if we have another grammage, you have another price. So now the system also takes in consideration of the grammage to control what the price is going to be. And to look a little bit on how the pricing is set up, you can have different price lists, as we talked about, different price lists for different customer groups. So if we open the price list we're working with for this customer and look at the products, the product was the menu, open that, you see that prices could be depending on different parameters. So here we say, for example, that if you have a quantity of 1 or more, if you have a grammage of 200 or more, A5 format, you're going to have a starting price and a piece price per piece. So you can set up different pricing tables showing different pricing for different types of products for different types of customers, like that. So it's very easy to customize how the pricing is being done, how the products are set up, and how all the parameters are being set up, like that. And if we should focus a little bit also about more possibilities and more benefits of having everything in the same platform. If we have a separate web-to-print system and we have a separate ERP system or MIS system, you have to do an integration. We can do that integration with other storefronts also, because we have open APIs connecting to storefronts, to machines, to different software. So everything is very open for us also. But if you only have two separate systems, then you have to do the integration. And the integration is mostly being done handling the orders coming from the web to print into the ERP or MIS. But the thing you have to take care of then anyway manually is to have multiple CRMs, because here we have a customer register of all the customers. And if you have a web to print and an MIS separate, then you're going to have different registers. And the same for the product catalog, the same for the pricing. So a huge benefit of having everything together in the same system is that you can have one source with a product catalog, one source with the CRM, customer data, and the pricing. And if we change that, it's going to affect everything. It's going to affect the products on the storefront. It could affect the pricing on the storefront, but it can also affect the manual proactive sales. So huge benefit of having everything together. And the last part that we talked about was the BI, because then when we have had all this production for a while, then you want to be able to look at the outcome and the performance. We can do that by building different dashboards. So this is also an example of how dashboards could look like. So this is a dashboard showing all the customers, all the sales managers, the products that you sell, the stores that you have, and the years that you've been active. And we can drill down to see here if we're going to look at Jane, Richard, and Walter. And then we see the different colors, which sales has been for each salesperson. So we can easily see here that here in the company Super Drilling, Richard here sold for 16,000, but Jane has only sold for 4,000. And we can see that on product level, we can see that on coverage and gross margin and different stores, different products. We can also see that on more trends. So here you see a trend of James sales, peaked here in June 2020, going very, very good, but then dropped in July. Why? Could be a question. Just for us, it's just to gather the intelligence for the company to use that to analyze their situation and to have intelligence to make the right decisions for their business. And you see also here's a scatter diagram where you see every dot here is one order. And if it's over 0, then you have a good gross margin. If it's under 0, then you have a minus gross margin. And the more to the right you are, the more higher invoice value you have. And if we go and check just, for example, one person for 1 year, you can see that you have a lot of orders peaked here with very low, very high gross margin compared to the other one. And you can also see the order number here. The order number is 10,477. So you can drill down to see what's special with that order. Why is that so profitable? So it's very easy to, in this way, to find things that are sticking out, to understand what's the problem with that or these possibilities with that. We can also do that on geographical level, so you can see which countries you have been selling to the most. And you see that Sweden here is a darker color, so it's been more sales compared to France and Estonia here, for example. So in this way, you can drill down and really find the information that you need to make your decisions, to understand your business, to understand the change you do in organization and business model, how they are going to be handled, how they're going to see the effect of that. And this is a very, very important part, not only taking theory into practice, but also taking practice into analysis to understand that if you do practical change, are they getting effect or not? Very, very important. Because then you can focus more on the things that are getting good effects, and you can focus less on the things that make less effect, like that. So we have gone through very brief the entire platform, from the storefront doing sales to the ERP handling manual practice sales, the production, the planning, logistics, invoicing we didn't look at, but we can do it in a specific demo with any of you, and then the BI part to see how the effect is on that. And talking about job automation, we have our open APIs. We push files and XML data for interacting with the machines, but also with workflows. And we have done that with multiple workflows, and we can do it for you too. So I think this was my part, and I think this covers the most.
Well, thank you very much, Matthias, and very exciting. So I have a few questions I would like to ask right away, and it's mainly because I got so annoyed, at least at one point.
Okay.
And that was, no, I'm just kidding. It was because you showed that example with the menu card, and you showed the calculation and the price list that was in the background of the infrastructure, so to speak, right? And I was just wondering, with the power of an ERP system, why do you have to have price list? I mean, wouldn't it be easier to use the ERP capabilities to just dynamically price the products when you are asked to?
Yeah, we can do that too. It doesn't have to be priced. You have multiple ways of making estimates and pricing, of course. You can work with estimation. You can work with profit margin on that, or we can make standardized pricing on standardized products. It depends on what kind of product it is.
Okay.
You can make standardized products or individual products. Both.
See, that made me much happier right away. And another thing I would like to ask in the same context, and that is when you have that price list option, would you be able to combine that so you make the price? Let me give you an example. If you have, let's say you want to do a price list of business cards, and you say that you calculate 50, 100, 250, 500 pieces, for example, right? I think that most printing companies, they would probably just look at the competition and see what they should cost. But let's say that they were actually calculating the prices and use that own calculation system. Would you then have to calculate the price in the ERP, in the MIS part, and then copy paste the numbers over to the price list? Or can you directly from that list calculate and using the MIS tools?
Yeah, because it's the same. You don't have to copy paste anything. And also you can have combination. What you're talking about is also combination of prices priced on some operations. Okay. But you can have calculated costs plus a margin on some operations. So this doesn't have to be on product
system that you have all the production parameters, all the paper values, all the imposition data, and all the things that make sure that you can easily get things to production. Is that correctly understood?
Yeah, it's correctly. Yeah. And so if you look at to the same product, you see that all the operations we are making a.
Can see your screen just so you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I just turned it off. Yeah.
Okay. Then we do it like this. Yeah, like you said, for all operations, the product is divided to multiple operations, and for all the operations, we calculate the cost and the price for each operation. So you can base the price in the storefront to that pricing instead of to the standardized prices. So it depends if you want to make a detailed production plan giving you the price to the customer, or if you want to have a standardized price in the price list to the customer. It's two both options are available. Yes.
Perfect. We got a question from Shocks. He's asking, the BI tool is good. Is it customizable by the customer, and can it show productivity data as well as sales data?
Yeah, we have both. It's customizable. You have the same data source, of course, but you can adapt the charts and what kind of parameters you want to look at by the customer themselves. Yes, we have this on sales, you have it on production, you have it on logistics, you have it on stock management, we have it on everything. So yes, we can.
Yes, Matthias, I have another question as well for you. From the perspective of a PSP, we also saw that everyone knows that, of course, the system has to be filled. Yeah, so that's very time consuming. So yesterday also we saw some other solutions that were proposed. Some of them were already pre-populated with standard products. So let's say if I'm a PSP and I want to start out with a web-to-print solution, and let's say I want to be up and running like within a month, is there also already pre-populated elements in your system, or do you have to start from scratch?
Yeah, we understand that obstacle quite good. Yeah, of course. It could be both pre-populated. We're also very good at migration. So migrating data from previous systems to Omikai. So we have a set of machines, a set of products, a set of price lists, everything pre-populated that you can start with. And often you start there if you want to start from scratch, and then you tweak the different machine data and the product and the pricing. Or the other option is that you import a lot of things from your previous system to set it up. So both things are a way of migrating to a new system.
Yeah. Because I was especially thinking, and I think some of the viewers, they will think about this as well, and also from a perspective of consultancy. If you are migrating, from a system, and you want to connect, and you have, for example, already another web-to-print basic solution, you want to migrate, in this case, in your case, to have the advantage of MIS or ERP to combine in that solution, then I guess you pull it out. Is that unidirectional then, or can those people also keep their own web-to-print storefront and just use the MIS where you have bidirectional communication?
Yeah, both. Either we migrate data, you export data from the previous system, you transform it, and you import it to our system with a standardized importation. Or you do the integration with the web-to-print, the other web-to-print. And we
So
have
they can boost their storefront basically. If
yeah,
they
we have
already have
APIs for getting pricing, to getting product information, to get customer information, pushback orders. So all the APIs are totally open for everything, because our front end that we see here, working here, is the same API used for this front end as you can do when you integrate to our system.
I switch off the screen sharing again, Matthias. Just so
sorry. Okay, no, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And just one other question, Morten, if you allow.
Of course. That's why we're here, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I just want to understand, especially with Omikai. So what type of customer? Already asked the same questions to some of your competitors yesterday and day before. What's your target customer that you're targeting? Is that really someone small, medium business, or what is the typical customer for Omikai StoreFront and web-to-print?
A typical customer is a medium company, I would say, medium or large in the lower part of the large companies, and it's companies doing large format products.
Again, because the people that are watching and they want to choose or be able to choose, we saw some very low end, not low end, but very easy entry, not low end of course, but very easy entry on the price level type of solutions, and very scalable. So maybe because MIS is involved here, maybe it's automatically already a little bit higher or
medium level, I would say, compared to every other.
But can I say something here? Because I just need to add something that I think is important, and that is always impossible to cover in a short presentation. But I think that when I met Omikai the first time at a Swedish trade show some years ago, one of the things that I really found interesting with your approach from a business perspective was also that you have like one platform that fits all. That basically means that if you have for example, you at that point you work together with a Swedish binder who is not in business anymore, but all the things that you need to have like specifically for binder was immediately populated to all customers. So that means that this is not modules. It's not tailored for a specific. So it grows as it grows all the time. The solution you showed new, is that the new version, Matthias? Because I can't remember because you have been working on something that is completely new. Is that this one or?
No, it's a second version. We had the first version where we talked before for many years ago. Yeah. And this is the second version, and then we have a third version. That is what you're talking about now. It's a completely new platform, completely new way of working, and that is something we're shipping out this year. So it's going to do a lot of change.
And I also think that, because I mean, what you have focused on in this demo is obviously the web to print part of this, but this is a tiny little thing of the Omikai solution. And I can't help thinking about it. I ask these questions also to other vendors quite often. Actually, is that the more a system can do, the more complex the communication gets around, because as Jacques, I mean, he does know you, right? So from that perspective, he's just like, also find something that is, SAP solutions that are in the millions, right? But I think that when you identified your business, as far as I remember from you're talking about, you have identified that a majority of printing companies, they need some tools that are very easy to use, not necessarily tied up to a specific ERP system, not specifically in a financial system, and basically be that great software that captures the majority of printing companies, right? I think that some of the Swedish companies you have as customers are quite big companies, actually.
Yeah, they are, and we have very, very large companies also, both in Sweden and in Norway, for example. And I think it's very important what you said there about continuous integration of the software, because this is a multi-tenant cloud platform that we talk about. Multi-tenant means that we have one installed base, one system that everybody is using. So it means that if we ship out new functionality, everybody will have it right away. So it's not something that you install on your servers locally, that you have to be handling and maintain like that. We're pushing out new functionalities and new things all the time. So it's growing all the time, and growing in combination with our customers, because I have a lot of discussions and a lot of forums with our customers, because our customers need for a new functionality and to handle new pains they have and so on is driving our development also. We need to have a lot of good connections with the customers, and we do that, and that is different than many others do.
But Matthias, the questions that Jacques has asked, and maybe also some of the questions I've asked here, leads to something that is always important when you talk about opportunities in the market, and that is KPIs. Why should people choose Omikai?
Many things. It's the multi-tenant cloud platform. It's both IT friendly. You don't need to have any IT yourself. It can be future-proof your business, because you don't have to keep track of what you need to be profitable and efficient in the market. We are all the time giving that functionality to you, so you're always up to date. You also said that that is very good point, that you can handle all types of production, because so many companies are changing and not doing only one thing. They're doing 10, 15, 20 different things. So you need to be able to calculate to do that kind of sales and that business model for all types of customer need in one solution. So it means it's a monthly fee, and also it's scalable. So for small companies, it's very cheap, and for a larger company, it's
very expensive.
Very cost efficient.
Cost efficient.
Cost efficient. That was a good one. Yeah. And your experience from rolling out in Sweden, Norway, and Finland, and now entering into other markets. How's the approach been from your customers, in your opinion?
It's been good. We talk a lot about pains. We talk a lot about how the market changed. We talk about, because we want to understand how their business are changing, and we see the same change and see the same pains all over the world. So that was what we were talking about in the beginning. Mm-hmm. So it means that we are.
But I was more sorry. I was more thinking not so much from the pains in the industry in general terms, but more like, so when you get in as a new supplier to them. I mean, first thing, I think it must be the sales work must be a little bit harder than if you are very well established in the market, because you have to convince first that you are that you have a life ahead of you, that you're not out of business in a short time, and then you have to convince about the technology, and now you have to get like proof of concept, and then basically take it from there. And I was just wondering, when you go into a company and you get them to sign the agreement and you get going with it, I mean, how is the onboarding process, and how have you experienced the time of getting to where you are today? Has that been appreciated by the market, or did you also have obstacles from a client perspective being a new player?
All the time, a little bit, when you come to a new market and you're a new face and nobody's heard about you, you have to prove yourself, of course. And of course, it's easier to get the more early adopters in the beginning. But we give a lot of attention to that, attention to new customers in new regions, new partners in new regions, because I think for us it's very, very important to have customers and partners that are happy and profitable very, very fast, so we can grow in that market around them and use them as references, of course.
Maybe one last question from me. Sorry, Morten, Matthias, before I go to the next session. So what about customer service? Is that something that you do from headquarters, or is there a plan that you will have, let's say, more centralized in Europe, some customer services as well? Because as you say, you're a new kid on the block going into Europe. You're well known in the Nordics.
Organical growth more and more. We need customers first, and we can take care of them first before we can have a partner, and so on.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you, Matthias. I hope to see you in the near future. But I'm off to the next one. Thanks. See you soon.
See you soon. Yeah.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, and Matthias, just also to extend on that one, I mean, you are a company that have attracted venture capital, so you have you're not stressed from that perspective. I mean, sometimes new companies can be stressed. You have a long-term investors in a company because Thomas is one of your main investors. He has extensive experience from some of the largest ERP systems in Sweden and the Nordic. And when he saw you, I remember I made an interview with him before. Actually, I think it was before I knew you, or about the same time. And, yeah, and he was like, really, because you are onto something new he said, I remember I spoke to him about the risk of having smaller companies in verticals. And he said the only way he could see a future is not this conglomerate of huge ERP systems trying to handle everything, but to have tailored silo solutions that are really specialists within an area. And I take that's the approach you have really been focusing on, is making sure that you are addressing all the needs that you identify from the printing industry, right?
Yeah, I think having a small specialized companies, but working together, forming synergies, and helping the customers on all levels, I think is the way to go, because we can be specialized in our vertical and other companies can be specialized in their vertical. But if we work together, we can have a lot of collaboration, forming synergies to help the customer more and more. And as you said, yeah, we have investors, and that gives us also very good insight and information on how to build ERP systems on worldwide level.
Yeah, and to have the safety of having experienced people in your board, right? I mean, the people that are in your board is really experienced people in running businesses. And I take, as both you and I are entrepreneurs, I think that, all the help we can get from other people is sometimes something that, encourage you to continue to do what you, even on the bad days, right? That, okay, we have people that trust in us, right?
Yeah, we have a network of people telling us what to do, not hiring people and telling them what to do. It's like Steve Jobs said, it's the same.
Fantastic. Well, Matthias, I want to thank you for being part of our Learn With Us Selling Print Online. I think it was a very valuable contribution, and I look forward to see you in person soon. I hope it will be soon. So
yeah, I want to travel. I want to go out, and of course we're going to meet.
Yeah, of course, yes. Well, thank you very much, and say hi to everybody in your office. And I think you're at home now, but next time you're at the office, right?
I'm home, but working from home mostly. But I will do that. And,
I heard a baby in the background, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Yours?
It's mine.
Okay, great.
I didn't borrow it.
Okay, fantastic. Okay. Have a great day, and talk to you soon, Matthias.
Yeah, talk to you soon too. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.